Tax fraud has reached epidemic proportions in the Bay Area. Now at 6, why authorities say this man's arrest should serve as a warning to criminals trying to cash in. Good evening, I'm Brendan McLaughlin.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thanks for joining us. First tonight, Tampa leads the nation in tax refund fraud. And while it's a dubious distinction, it's also one a new law enforcement alliance does not plan on keeping. Taking Action reporter Jackie Calloway was there when agents made the first of what they say will be many arrests to follow.
The alliance, as they're calling it, is the first of its kind with the IRS, the FDLE, and the Attorney General's office all joining forces and collaborating to take a bite out of tax fraud. In fact, the FDLE tells me that the arrest they made this morning was the result of all this team effort. FDLE agents suspect Demetrius Lewis is part of a criminal alliance. They arrested the 37-year-old this morning and confiscated $60,000 worth of IRS checks and debit cards issued in other people's names.
This specific case, he had 8 checks that were in other people's names.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement understands that, like the bad guys, they too have to join forces. They see it as the only way to stop drop, as the crime is known in law enforcement circles.
An identity theft disclosure pilot program was created in joint efforts by law enforcement.
Months ago, FDLE, the IRS, and the Attorney General's office formed their own alliance and developed strategies aimed at the sole goal of knocking Tampa Bay out of the #1 spot when it comes to tax refund fraud.
No one can work these cases alone, so essentially we had our partners at the IRS that was able to do their internal research and auditing of our tax victims to definitively say that, yes, they were in fact a victim.
It wasn't even until this year the IRS began sharing any information with law enforcement due to privacy concerns. FDLE expects Lewis to be the first of many arrests made in the coming months as they set out to take a bite out of tax fraud before tax season cranks up again after the first of the year. Now, the FDLE is promising we're going to see many more arrests, the same kind we saw this morning. They think this is just the tip of the iceberg. They're also asking for the public's help. There's a website that they've created to help people learn how to protect themselves from identity theft, which, of course, leads to tax fraud. We've got that website, a link to that website right on our website. Just go to abcactionnews.com. In Tampa, Jackie Calloway, ABC Action News.